not that song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1094. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today, Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer, plus we finally get to a new edition of Holding Court with Lady Katy and speak with Lady Katy and the interesting things going on in her world, which you'll find
Mike's Daily Podcast
mirror in some way the things going on in your world. It's strange how that happens, but it's a reverse.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's a reverse image because it's the image in the mirror. Well, there's the thing that we've not mentioned lately, and that's the words contested convention. We were talking about the Republicans and that annoying guy with the voice, Ted Cruz. But now it looks like there's some people that don't want to lose delegates, and they're called Bernie Sanders supporters. So
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's why they showed up at that convention in Nevada recently and booed Barbara Boxer.
Mike's
Barbara Boxer
Daily
got booed. Wow.
Podcast.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Bernie Sanders supporters were being unruly like Trump supporters, it's just fascinating to me. Because remember, the whole Democrat debate process started off so calm, so surreal. Did I say surreal? Well, surreal was the Republican debates that were going on simultaneously. They were crazy and people yelling names at each other. Meanwhile, the Democrat debates were all very calm, reserved, and nobody was getting into fights. It was very, Well, no, you after you. No, after you, please, after you. No, you were about to say something. Please go ahead. Well, I don't know if we're going to have a contested convention with the Democrats. The last time we had a big contested Democrat convention, things got ugly in 1968, the year I was born. Several months before I was born, but I was in the womb. I didn't hear any of the things going on through my mom. But, I heard about it later. And things got bad. People got killed. It was Chicago. It was Mayor Daley, and it was just a mess. So hopefully that sort of thing won't happen this year. Look who just walked in. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's going too hard to get the job supervisor. Oh my God, what the hell are you talking about? History, Chely, history. Oh, I like history. I just don't like it when old people talk because it's boring. Chely, you can learn things from old people. They have stories to tell. It's fascinating. I love sitting next to the old guy at the park and hearing his stories and tales. Okay, does he smell bad? But he maybe doesn't get around to bathing as much as he should, the old guy. I don't know. You should bathe often in today's world with all the things flying around. Addendum with Kevin. Kevin got sick yesterday. Perhaps we will have him on the next show. We'll see. But today we have the lovely Lady Katy. Oh, by the way, congratulations out to my friends Tom and Sue. They've been married 36 years. Yay. And the whole reason why I moved to the Bay Area was them. Oh, look who just walked in. Because I was contemplating it in late 2008. And I was here on a trip. And they said to me, this is actually the perfect time to move here because the housing prices have crashed and this is it. If you're going to move here now. So I did, and thus I've been here for almost 7 years. Hello, guys. That just walked in. Scary guys. Oh, Mike, it's Valentino, the parking attendant. And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know Dad? No, it's not. Say your real names. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere the Engineer. Yes, Mike, we tried to fool you. Good job. Yeah, welcome in. And so, Star Trek, apparently no cast has been announced yet, but they're going to have the Star Trek TV show. They just did a flashy trailer that had a bunch of words saying things like Star Trek, and there were like planets, explosions, and that kind of thing in space. Woohoo. I want to not watch that. Megyn Kelly, I didn't watch this either, interviewed Trump again. You know, they have that feud. And apparently it was all a bunch of repackaged questions from every other Fox interview that's been done with Trump. So basically, if you watched that and you watched all the other Trump interviews, it was like watching a rerun. And then we don't know as of this moment what happened with that plane that disappeared flying to Egypt. That's strange. It disappeared somewhere over the Mediterranean. I am feeling as if it might have been a terror, and most people think this was a terror activity of some sort, some terrorist activity. So it shall be interesting as this unravels. And then the Tesla. Tesla is selling stock today. Today they're selling stock because they're trying to raise money to get that Model 3 built. All these pre-orders for the Model 3, an affordable Tesla car, and they haven't begun building it yet, so they got to raise the money, and today they're selling stocks. Let's see how that goes. Tesla seems to be a company on the edge, both with what they're trying to do with technology, with their actual product, and then how they're running the company seems to be very sort of, fly by the seat of the pants sort of thing. Oh, we got a cool name. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see, Tesla electricity. Ooh. Thank you for that electricity, John Deere the engineer. You're welcome. Rather shocking, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. I felt tingles of energy and then I just want to say hi out to my neighbors down the street, Carol and Antoinette. I talked to them at length about, they were complaining about their pit bull being unruly, and I gave them a bunch of tips. It wasn't my dog tip corner.
The word of dog.
But I guess I was kind of giving them advice. Their dog was unruly, and guess what? I asked them a simple question. I asked them, hey, do you leave food out for your dog all day? And the answer was yes. That's the first problem. If your dog has no means to reward him or her, and their biggest reward is food. Oh, yeah, they like your affection and everything, but food's the main thing. Then you can't teach them anything. You can't tell them anything. So hopefully we all learn something from that. Okay, now, Lady Katy, by the way, if you want to see... Oh, let's go to the podcast picture real quick.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It is of the lovely Lady Katy, so you can see what she looks like, see what I look like, and see the wonderful place that I was doing the holding court with Lady Katy, because we were Mike on Mobile in the wonderful... park adjacent to Fairmont Ridge in Podcastro Valley. Nice area. It's kind of a rainy, drizzly day. See that picture now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. You can help out the show by going to the Amazon link at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com, clicking on the link and buying whatever it was you were going to buy. If you do that, that helps us out, and it doesn't change the way you're shopping on Amazon. Check that all out at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Plus the past podcast pictures. We have a podcast picture gallery, and there's the PayPal. If you want to help us out through the PayPal, click on that PayPal link and you'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. And finally, all my past interviews that I've done are there at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and you can email me there too. And comment as well. We have a bunch of great places to comment. By the way, if you do listen to the show on iTunes, give it a quick second and rate the show on iTunes, and that way more people find out about us so we don't languish as much in obscurity.
Holding court with Lady Katy. Lady Katy. Lady Katy.
Here we are on top of Mount Smoky, all covered with snow. That was a song I learned in camp. Hello, Lady Katy.
Hello, Mike.
We have a little bit of drizzle on us right now. We're overlooking the bay. We're like above San Leandro. We're not at Fairmont Ridge this time. We're like next to that, though.
That's correct.
We're sitting on a stump.
Yeah, this is... I just was telling Mike there's no better place to podcast. This is really cool. Cool! I said cool again!
Well, we're Californians. We can say that word. Let's think of an adjective that goes, well, it's stupendous.
It's momentous and stupendous and... what else? Fabulous. It's fantastic.
It's fab. What do you think of people that just say, like, fab?
I don't run in those kind of crowds.
Oh. How about people that say, that's fetch?
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Okay, I know that movie reference. And then you referenced last show the thing about Lord of the Rings.
You didn't know what I was talking about.
No, I had to look it up.
Did you really look it up?
Yeah, I haven't sat through all movies, the 3 movies. Or 6 now, huh? Because you got The Hobbit.
Yeah. Did you see The Hobbit?
No.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but my younger sister, she's crazy about Lord of the Rings, and she feels like the Hobbit movies are her favorite half of the 6, which is rare, but she is a legit fan, and so I can respect her judgment. There was a period of time recently that I would come home every single day and my sister Kenzie was watching Lord of the Rings, one of the movies, every single day. It was for a span of a month or maybe more.
Wow.
She would just rotate them and watch them over and over.
Over and over. Even though she had seen them, she'd repeat watch.
Oh yeah, repeat.
Did she read the books?
No, she didn't.
Dang. Does she watch Stephen Colbert? Because he's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. He's always referencing Lord of the Rings.
Right, yeah. I don't know if she watches Colbert. I don't know.
That's why I don't understand Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
So we got our dogs, too.
Yeah.
She has her dog, Mally. I have Basil. Basil drooled on Mally. That's kind of a close bonding that they had.
They're watching guard over our podcast station right now. They really look like scary guard dogs right now. They're so majestic.
I'd take a picture of them right now. But first, I just wanted to say that we also took a podcast picture earlier. And did we get Lake Chabot in the back?
I'm not sure. We can look right now. But
we took it on our way to this spot.
Yeah.
Hi, Basil.
And look at this great picture of you and Basil.
Oh, look at this.
It's a great one.
That's great. Your phone takes great pictures.
Let's see. I don't know.
We don't really have it.
No, but it's a great view. It's a great view.
Wow, you look great in that picture.
You do too, Mike.
You're too kind.
This is a great day for your skin and mine. It's like a nice, moist day. We're so moisturized naturally.
You know, it was a year ago, Lady Katy, that I went to Florida to see my mom. It was close to Mother's Day, and I was about to leave, and I was telling a friend of mine I'm going to Florida, and they said, "Oh, well, you're going to come back with great skin because it's so humid there," and it kind of feels Florida-ish today. Yeah,
was it true when you got back from Florida? Was your skin fantastic?
It's very, very burnt.
Oh,
lots of sun.
1 step forward, 10 steps back.
And I had an ear closed up because I was swimming a lot, and like my left ear, I couldn't hear. And I was I was being trained for my job, and every time someone was...
Was it an underwater scuba diving job?
No, it was the radio job, but underwater scuba diving.
I guess you can't do scuba diving if you're not underwater.
I guess so.
Like underwater basket weaving, that qualifier underwater is important because you can basket weave out of water and underwater.
I do a lot of those unnecessary qualifiers.
Well, I'm the one who said underwater scuba diving, so you're in the clear on that one.
Okay, good. Well, it was Haley that taught me how to do he was training me, but I couldn't hear Haley because Haley kept sitting on the wrong side of my head to train me, so I didn't know what Haley was saying. Damn it, Haley. Haley, get it together. Get it together.
So, Haley, I have a Haley quote. We're pressed for time!
Haley was stressed that day. That's the name of that show, is Stressed.
I also really loved his story about Hex.
Yes, the HE double hockey sticks.
That's such a perfect kid story. The misconceptions we have when we're kids. Like, HE double hockey sticks. And he's picturing... That was great. If you haven't, dear listener, if you haven't listened to that episode, listen to Hex. It's funny.
Go back and listen to Hex, and then I think the next one is Stress. Mm-hmm. I like the one-word things.
Yeah.
What one-word title should I give this one? Underwater?
I was gonna say underwater. So it has to be.
Because we kind of feel like we're underwater because the water's falling down on us, and in a way we are underwater.
In a manner of speaking, we're underwater.
Coffee meets bagel story. Now,
So last time, dear listener, you remember, since I know you follow my life arc very closely,
It's way more interesting than mine.
I don't know about that.
Yes, I know about that.
Well, I'm in the throes of this whole coffee meets bagel adventure, and it really does, if you're dedicated to the coffee meets bagel or online dating, it has the tendency to be up and down, because maybe you're going on a date this week and it goes really well, or maybe you go 3 weeks and you go on 4 dates and they're all mediocre. Like, it's just, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what you're going to get.
I would be so stressed out.
Speaking of stress, yeah, for me though, I like it. I like to have little things to look forward to. I like change. I like little interesting things that happen. Even if it's a bad, like, remember the guy the Chinese guy that took me to Colorado?
Yeah, well, that was a nice little thing to go to Colorado.
Well, it ended up being a horrible time.
Oh, that's right. It was a negative.
I'll tell you that, a negativity.
So, negativity, yeah. We came up with a word that show. Go back and listen to that one. That was.
This is like at the end of this is like
Dog Park Conversations was that one.
This is like
the name of that one.
This is like at the a filler episode on a TV show where it's not an original episode. They just go back and reference old episodes or like show little clips. That's what this episode is.
No, it's not, dear listener. Because we're going to hear about actually, we never heard the whole. How far do you want to talk about the Colorado story?
I'm not going to talk about that Colorado story.
Oh, man.
I will tell you off mic, but it's.
But I am Mike.
I'll tell the real Mike, not this imposter in my face.
Damn you, Steve Jobs and your iPhone mics. Okay, well, how about the latest Coffee Meets Bagel situation? Okay,
well, if you remember the last time that we recorded, I was really sad, and there were a lot of factors going into that. That Monday was just negative in general, negativity. And actually, so that day was bad. I had a fight with a friend, bad day at work, fight with my sister when I got home, and then I met up with you, which was really nice. Then I got home. Okay, so here's the backstory. I had met this guy on Coffee Meets Bagel whom I really liked, and I had been going out with someone before that from Coffee Meets Bagel who really liked me a lot, and I liked him, but it was just a little mismatched.
Okay.
Like, it was just
wasn't quite.
I honestly could have kept dating him, and I wanted to, but he was like, I don't feel like you're as into me as I am into you. And he's like, that's not what I want. I want something so mutual. So then I met this other guy, reverse situation. I'm super into him, and I can just tell from the beginning that it wasn't fated well, but I just felt like somehow he could see that I was a catch or something. I just kept wanting to make it happen. And so we dated for a few weeks, and just it started really well and kept getting worse.
Oh no.
To where every day I doubted more and more if he was into me, and I know in my mind, like, this is not how it's supposed to go. But I so kept thinking, I felt like I was back in high school or college, those days when dating is like that, where, oh, does he like me? Does he not? Can I change it? And I haven't had relationships like that recently. Usually it's fairly mutual. But this guy was an enigma, and he kept me in suspense in a really bad way. And anyway, that night after we had that podcast, I came home and I was in bed, and I had thought, I had remembered something that he had written on his profile on Coffee Meets Bagel. And so I was going to look at it. I looked back at his profile, and I saw that just recently he had updated his pictures.
Oh.
And, it's not the biggest deal, but that said to me, he's not done looking for somebody. Like,
right.
Which I knew. He and I had talked about that he wasn't 100% sure, but he told me, I'm not actively looking for anyone else. But this told me, even in that small thing, and I know online dating is, you can debate how serious it is, but that to me was so hurtful. You know, I thought, here's this guy that I really like, and while he's talking to me, in the background, he's talking to other girls, and he's, you know, making his profile better in order to meet someone better.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it was just heartbreaking for me, and after that long day of bad after bad,
the other stuff.
After all the other stuff, I texted him, just said, hey, you know, I'm not angry, but I'm hurt, and I just want to know what's going on. And he called, we talked, and he said, you know, I do like you, but I'm not ready to close the door on other girls. And
what a jerk.
Oh, it was so sad, and I was crying, but I finally had the strength to do what I had felt like I should have done earlier, which was just to say, you know what, if you're not willing to close the doors on other people while you're dating me, like, I have to close the door on you, even though I don't want to. Like, it's the healthiest thing for me. So in that moment, the honest, good thing for me to do. And I could have said, you know what, that's okay, and let's just keep seeing each other, let's figure it out. But I knew I couldn't. That's not really what I wanted. So that's how that story ended, and I was really sad. But there is a happy turn.
Oh, a happy turn.
Yeah. So at that time, here's the ironic thing. I was also talking to people on Coffee Meets Bagel during this.
Wait, that's...
Okay, but you have to understand this illogical logic.
So it's okay because you're a woman.
It was okay because, well, I don't know if it was okay, but my logic was that I was kind of trying to...
Is there someone
there's
over
a person coming.
Oh, hold on. Let me make sure. Okay, go ahead.
Like Mike just waited. He started the recording and then climbed up onto the stump. He just wants everyone to hear how adventurous he is.
Listen, I'm going to climb the tree. Clop, clop.
And he also just put the phone near the tree while he did those sound effects. That's a cool looking tree. Cool, again. It's a beautiful tree. It's so colorful.
Magnificent.
It's a magnificent tree.
It's iridescent. No, that doesn't work. It's very tree-like.
It's very tree-like.
I'm sorry, I got dirt all over my hand.
Why are you apologizing to me?
I'm out in nature, and...
How dare you? How dare you be
my recording
less than
hand
perfect? My recording hand
has dirt on it, so just you're gonna have to deal while you're telling your story.
I can't even look that way. Not that direction.
All right, so there was an upswing.
There was an upswing. So, okay, so we were talking about the fact that I was also talking to people. But my reason when I was talking to these other guys on Coffee Meets Bagel was that I could sense that this guy, I could sense that he was not all about me, and I really was trying, even though I really liked him, I wasn't even really wanting to go out with other guys, but I wanted to kind of protect myself and just keep myself at a good level of not being too into someone.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
So,
an escape plan.
And just a way to keep myself a little bit feeling not so, anyway, so...
Melly.
She's not scared of barbed wire.
I am.
Me too.
It hurts.
So, the upswing is that during this time, I had connected on Coffee Meets Bagel with this other man, and the day that this whole thing fell apart with this other guy, I was so bummed out, and I was like, I am so done with Coffee Meets Bagel. I'm done. So I deleted the app. And then right after I deleted it, I said, I had connected with that one guy, and he actually seemed nice, but we'd really only exchanged like 1 or 2 texts. So I said, I'm just going to finish things out with this one. Like, he's the last in my bagel pipeline. And I'm going to just see that one.
Is that what they call it? The bagel pipeline? That's
what I call it. It would be a better word. A bakery term would be better. Like, last on the baking sheet.
Yeah, the baking sheet. Not bagel Q or bagel. Yeah, because that's what you put the bagel on, is a cooking sheet.
Or on a conveyor belt of some kind. I mean, it's depending if we're talking about homemade bagels or like an industrial bagel factory.
So it was the last guy I had on the conveyor belt.
Right.
Because I make robotic men for my suitors.
For my suitors, and then I reject them. It's just all part of, and some of them reject me. It's just such an imperfect plan.
It's a great plan. Such a fun time.
So there was this one guy left. I decided, you know what, I'll finish things out with him. Probably won't go anywhere, but whatever. And to this, right now, I still don't know if it'll go anywhere, but I'm very glad that things ended with that other guy and that this other thing started. Ever since this bad day, the last bagel in my pipeline, he and I met. We've gone out twice. He is fantastic. And he's interesting and he's smart and he likes me as much as I like him. It feels so mutual, which is something I kind of just started to think maybe that's just not so much how it works, you know, the older you get. Not that I don't feel old, but I just think, you know, I'm not in college anymore. I'm not in high school. I'm not in my 20s. So I thought maybe you just kind of meet who you meet and you can make things work, which I think you can do that too. But it's very nice to be talking to this man who, like I said, is just very mutual. I feel excited about where it might go. Who knows where it will, but for right now it's a really nice thing.
Where does he live?
He lives in Redwood City. So that's that. And he's French. He's really French. He's from France. And he's just, I like him.
Frenchman.
I don't even feel like I've ever really met a Frenchman.
Yeah, I think you would probably know if you met a French person because they have that accent.
Really, really quick funny story. Now I am remembering a Frenchman I met who, my friend Amy and I, we were traveling through Europe and we stopped at a hostel in Brussels, and at this hostel there was a French man who was working the front desk, and he was very interesting looking. He looked like a cartoon. He had a very dramatic features, like big eyes, big nose, like big teeth, had a very intense look about him. It's very sweaty and disheveled hair. And he came to the window, and Amy, my friend, and I, we said, you know, we'd like a room for the night. And he looks up at us and he says, "What is your price?" I know. What is your price?
For the two of you?
We're like, what do you...
To buy you?
Yeah, we're like, price for what? He's like, well, he explained. I don't even know. Still to this day, I don't understand. It was a hostel where you could kind of name your own price for the night.
Oh, okay.
You know, but it was a very odd way for him to say it, and just assuming that we knew that we could name our price. But then what does that mean? We're like, free? You know? Like, that's the price we choose to name. So that's my other Frenchman example.
What price did you name?
I don't remember. But we started low. I mean...
It wasn't William Shatner. Name your own price. Priceline.
I don't understand that.
Oh, it's a commercial he does all with
Priceline, okay.
.com. Chely Shoehart, who I couldn't think of her name the other day. It's Chely Shoehart.
Okay.
Not Katy. Okay. Moving on. You went to Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Why did you go to Los Angeles? What happened?
I went to see my dear friend Rachel. She was the one I saw in SLO, in SLO.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we got together there, and then we also got together in Los Angeles.
How was that?
It was fantastic.
Wait, now tell me, you left on a Friday and drove all the way down.
Yeah.
And then drove all the way back. That must have sucked.
Well, my friend, the reason...
negativity.
The reason I went in the first place was because my friend Walker, I'm pointing right now to San Francisco because he lives in San Francisco.
Hi, Walker.
Hi, Walker. I think he can see us and hear us.
I'm scared now.
He has friends in Los Angeles, and so he actually kind of often will, from time to time, will go down there and he'll invite me, but I usually don't take him up on it. But this time I was thinking, you know, I had that hard week, I wanted to see my friend Rachel again, and so Walker and I drove down together, and we talked the whole time, so it went by fast. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
We went down, he dropped me off with Rachel, and I didn't see him until we left to go back up here.
Did you do anything interesting?
we just purely did what we wanted to do. We went to brunch both days at the same exact place. Here's an interesting thing that happened. Rachel and I went to brunch 2 days in a row at the same place. We ordered the same thing both days. Exact same thing.
Why not?
Why not? So both days, we both ordered avocado toast with an egg on top.
Oh, that sounds good.
It was really good.
Oh.
And we also both ordered lattes. And both days, they brought Rachel. And here's the other interesting thing. We sat opposite each other both days. They're just leaving.
Oh, that's it, huh? You're done with us? Oh, did they see something up there?
Mally, come.
Basil!
Come here, Mally. Come. Good dogs. Good dogs. So, both mornings we went to the same brunch place, ordered the same thing, avocado toast with an egg and a latte, each of us. And both days, the waitress brought out, "Here, ma'am, here's your latte," and Ben turns to me. "I'm so sorry, ma'am, we're out of glass mugs. Can I bring you your latte in a to-go cup?" That happened the first day. I said, "Oh, sure." Second day, exact same thing happened. Where they brought my friend Rachel her latte in a mug, in a glass mug, and then they turned to me, and we had switched seats. We sat in opposite places, but both days they went to her first and said, "Here's your mug," and "I'm so sorry, ma'am, but can we bring yours?" And Rachel and I mean, it was fine, I don't care, but it was just so bizarre.
What?
I know.
Why? Do they think you need to go somewhere?
I think it was Ashton Kutcher's most underwhelming prank ever.
It was the lamest.
He's like in a window with the crew. He's like, "Oh, she's reacting."
Oh, I really got her. I'm Ashton Kutcher. Is that what he sounds like?
He's really gone downhill. I mean, if that's the best you can come up with.
That was a stinky punked. Yeah, so you had to go with your cup and drink.
And hers had the pretty latte art.
What was this crappy place?
It was ruined. I think it was called Sweet Butter. Sweet Butter. I loved. This was I went to college in LA. I've been to LA 1,000 times. This was my first time there that I thought, I love LA.
I love LA.
I cannot match you and Haley with your songs. I don't know any songs.
From the west side to the east side, everybody's very happy because the sun is shining all the time. Looks like another perfect day. I love LA. Randy Newman.
It's really good.
He also did Short People, and he did all the songs for Toy Story.
Ah, okay.
That's how you would know him.
Yeah. Toy Story reference? Got it.
Well, I want to tell you these stories are magnificent, and they're very... I still don't want to go on a dating website, because I feel like the times that I tried it was horrible, and I mean, you're fine with it, because you've done it a couple times, so you got kind of to me it's weird. It still feels like this strange, bizarre ritual.
Here's the thing. I understand that it can feel odd, or it can make you feel feelings.
What are those?
The feelings of hesitation and not being sure if this is a good thing. My dear friend, she has been on Coffee Meets Bagel recently as well, and she's not sold on it. She hasn't had any good experiences, and she said, I'm thinking of taking myself off of it. It's just not working. And I said, well, how many dates are you going on just naturally? How many people are you just naturally meeting and going on dates with? She's like, well, none. I said, well, then it's working for you exactly as well as anything else. It's like...
That's true.
It's not... If you want to meet someone, increase your chances by putting yourself out in different ways. That's what I say.
Yeah. So I think we left off on some story about your French guy. Were we talking about your French guy that you met?
Probably. He's so dreamy.
Okay, but be careful, because that is a French thing, and it's the way they say words, and it's all and rosé wine and French fries, pommes frites.
He has been feeding me an excessive amount of French fries. I am worried now.
Whatever, if that's your thing, French fries are good for you. They're freedom fries now. So you may have noticed, dear listener, that we're not on top of a hill anymore. We're at a pizza place in San Leandro called Porky's Pizza. We're surrounded by young adolescents that are trying to have a fun Friday night, but they're pissed off at the world, so they're vaping.
It's really funny. The last thing I said to Mike was, I remember those days. Even though I wasn't really part of this scene, but I have been hanging out with groups that were doing these sorts of things. Like one contingent of this group just like wandered off in like a random direction, and the other two guys that were left over were like, "Hey, where are you guys going?"
Yeah. Wait, so you were the person that was getting left a lot?
Is that what I said? No, I don't know. It just was familiar. I don't know if it was personally familiar or just from observance. I don't know.
I don't remember those years very well. Refresh my memory. Let's see, let's play a Bryan Adams song. It will refresh my memory. Bryan Adams was on the radio all the time when I was a teenager.
Okay.
Who was on the radio all the time when you were a teenager?
I don't even know because I never listened to the radio. I didn't like...
All that she wants is another baby. She's gone tomorrow. Ace of Base?
This is another one of those things where you ask me a question.
Oh, wait. Late 90s. No, wait. You were a teenager in the O's.
I guess so.
So it was like, somebody once told me that da-da-da-da.
That is familiar, yeah.
And the world stops and you don't stop.
And the world stops turning and you don't stop turning. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. Okay. I was a weird kid. I really never listened to music.
Was that because of your pastor father?
No, it was because I've always liked quiet, even to this day. If music is playing and I can't, it's very aggravating for my brain to have music going.
Oh my gosh, I totally would not think that about you.
Really? Why?
You seem musical to me.
I like musicals. I like certain kinds of music, but it has to be background. Like, I'm never just gonna listen to something and jam to it. Like it's like secondary. It's something that's happening while I'm doing something else. And if I have to, for example, if the primary thing I'm doing is like reading or writing, I can't listen to anything with words or anything in English. It has to be classical, instrumental, whatever.
Oh, something cultural.
Yeah, sure. And musicals. I love musicals.
Oh, by the way, we have the dogs here at the pizza place, and so everybody's like, "Hey, did you give your dog some pizza?" And yeah, we've had that a couple times.
Yeah. Well, I heard you recently sorry, just completely skip over that and talk about the musicals thing. The music thing. I heard you talk about Hamilton recently.
Yeah, that looks like a good musical.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
That you are Hamilton?
Hamilton. I went and saw Hamilton in New York City.
With another French guy?
No. You can only see that with Americans, not with French people.
When did you do this?
In December.
Oh my God. Yes, you didn't take that. We're done. What was like to see it live on Broadway?
It was incredible. I listened to the soundtrack. I've listened to the soundtrack tens and tens of times, if not over 100 times. I love and adore the music, and I wanted to hear the original cast. And so...
It was the Puerto Rican guy?
Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda and I'm horrible with names, but just if you look up the original cast, that's who I saw. And there are some of the people that were also in The Heights, which is another musical he did, which I also loved. And so I got to hear some of these iconic voices that I'm just crazy about. So it was an amazing experience.
Now, Katy, you said to me recently, I'm not into musicals anymore, and you are so full of crap. This was in December that I went to see. At that time, I was listening to Hamilton on repeat at all opportunities throughout every single day. So I think I needed a break. So that's probably when I told you that. But even just recently when I went to SLO, I listened to San Luis Obispo. I listened to Hamilton the entire way down there. Okay. And sang my heart out. It was awesome. Have you gone on YouTube yet and seen when Obama introduces them to the White House and they play in like the Oval Office or something? And Obama's like, "This is one of my favorite musicals. I think this speaks to America today. Let's bring them on and can't wait to hear this great song." And he gets a little funky, Obama gets a little funky and then says something funny and they show him sitting in the front row. It's like one camera showing the whole thing and he's totally rocking his head to they do the opening song where the guy, and I'm the one that shot him, and all that. They do that whole thing.
So you're a fan of Hamilton too?
Well, I saw that song. Yeah. I watched several versions of it from different people's camera phones, and then I saw the one with the one that becomes the wife of Hamilton. But it looked very interesting. Yeah.
It's great. It's fantastic, and it's fun. The music is so good. I've recommended it to so many people, and I swear nobody has listened to it.
I don't know what the hell is the issue, because I talked to a 30-something today named Kevin, who does Addendum with Kevin. And he frickin' totally badmouthed Hamilton. He's like, I don't get it. What musical? What?
Has he actually listened to it or no?
No, and I think he would like it. It would stir a part of his soul.
I've recommended it to friends and played them a little part of the song. They're like, "Oh, is this are they trying to make U.S. history cool?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's really not it. It's
an artistic.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant, and there are so many really beautiful messages to the themes to the musical. I really, really love it. And
John Oliver had on the lead singer guy we were just talking about, and the guy who plays Hamilton, and Kevin was talking about that, and I didn't know Kevin does a dead-on impression of John Oliver. Do you know who John Oliver is?
Yeah, I do.
The British guy? Yeah. I laughed so hard. Someday I have to have Kevin on Addendum with Kevin. No, we were just talking off there's so much stuff going down at work. I couldn't really record him today.
Yeah.
I can't go into it more than, even though probably by the time this plays, all that will have transpired.
Can I just say that for all your listeners, it's not that dramatic.
It's not that dramatic. It's just something. So somebody decided not to bring in the water cooler. I couldn't come up with. Hello? Is this on? Check. Somebody forgot to bring jam because I need to have my toast in the morning. Everybody eats toast at my work. It's weird. So when we run out of jam, everyone gets mad. We're like in a jam.
That's the most unique work snack I've ever heard. It's the most unique and at the same time the most basic. Toast.
It's so white American.
Who does your office provide the bread and the toppings?
Sometimes they go to Boudin's down the street.
Wow.
I know. I think I'll stay there for a while.
It's a good plan, just for the toast.
I have to say, though, Katy, where she works, she got me a pumpkin pie last year, so thank you.
True, but it's not, I had to go pick up 200 of those, so it's better for you not to work there.
How did you fit them all in your car?
We had several team members all go to Costco, and all of us load up our cars. It was a whole day of manual labor, like transferring pies from Costco to car, from car to office. It was a nightmare.
I hope you don't mind, but next year I'll say no to your suggestion of getting.
Why?
I feel bad that you had to. I don't want to add to those.
Don't feel bad, because next year, so when I did it this year, I was new to the job, and I am all about efficiency and making things better than they've been, and I next year I will refuse for our team to do that work, because it was ridiculous. Yeah, like Costco can deliver, and they will. Like, I don't care how much it costs, it'll be cheaper than all of us doing manual labor for 2 days.
Absolutely. Everyone remember that. Costco delivers. Oh, and by the way, don't forget, this will probably play back after this is all passed, but they found listeria in a bunch of their frozen vegetables. So check with the, what do you call it? The disease people.
They found what?
Listeria? It's like this deadly disease. Oh, no. It apparently is only in some of their frozen veggies. So check on their website. This has been an informative podcast today.
Public service announcement, really.
So did we cover the thing that we were talking about earlier? With we covered the French guy. We covered the.
Can I tell you, just because we did have a little bit of alcohol here at the Porky's Pizza? Can I say that?
Yeah, we did, and we can't say that because this isn't monitored by the FCC.
Okay, not that we're crazy drunkards or anything. I'm just a lightweight who gets tipsy after one glass of wine. So, Can I just say a romantic thing that this French man said to me?
Sure, go ahead.
He said, we were talking about, I said to him, like, oh, you're very handsome. And he said, oh, you are, he started to say, like, you're very beautiful. But he said, I could talk about your hair or your eyes or your skin or your smile, but I won't, not now. I'll tell you, in the time to come. Like, it was so romantic the way he said it, and it wasn't phony. It was just I experienced like that French romance.
Oh. Well, he has to wait for those extra English lessons because he doesn't quite know how to say it. So, but that is romantic. He's gonna take English classes for you. So that's good. Yay!
His English is really good. His accent is just thick. That's it.
Okay. We did eat some chicken and some pizza.
Oh my God! Talk about our order.
And Italian bread.
Italian bread. That makes it sound so healthy. We had garlic bread, like soaked in butter and oil.
We had the delicious ranch dressing, coleslaw, and mojo potatoes.
This was our actual order: a small pepperoni pizza. Please don't listen to our previous podcast on not eating mammals, and the chicken dinner, which was massive. So we're delightfully full.
I had a really fun time, Katie. Thank you.
Mike, I did too. And Mike is amazing. He treated us to dinner.
It's the least I could do for all the times you've been on the show.
You don't understand. It's my pleasure. Really, it is. Thank you.
Thank you again, Katie. It's been great holding court with you.
Thank you, Mike, as always.
Hey, Lady Katie. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. I'm actually meeting with her today, later on today, and I will have another recording session, another holding court with her to be played back on the podcast soon. Next show, it is going to be Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!